Hi, Michael James, the Herb Guy, is here again, and in this video I'm going to discuss good alternative methods to store your herbs. While drying is considered an age-old method that has been perfected through the years, there are alternative methods to store and preserve your herbs. One of these methods is freezing. In the mid-1900s, this method became popular as modern refrigerators made this method more economical. The three herbs I use this method to preserve my herb crock are basil, chives, and dill. You begin by removing the leaves from the stems or the sprigs, and in the case of chives, cut them at the ground level. Place prepared leaves and chive stalks into small freezer bags. Label them with a permanent marker and place the bags on a flat surface. Press out as much air as possible and zip it closed. I use small pint-sized bags because once you have your herbs and you thaw them, you can't refreeze them again. When you need some frozen herbs, only remove what you need and return that bag to the freezer. Add the frozen herbs directly to your cooking food, and if you're adding them to salad, just let the leaves defrost for a couple of minutes and then put them right in your dish. This method can be used for fennel, tarragon, and parsley, but it's best to blanch them prior to freezing. To do this, you should tie them into a bundle and immerse them head first into boiling water for about 2 to 3 seconds. Count 1001, 1002, 1003. Then plunge the bundle into ice water for 2 minutes. Dry the bundles and then store the herbs the same way that you did for basil or dill or chive method. The upside to this method is that frozen herbs will store almost indefinitely. I tend to discard any frozen herbs I haven't used after about 12 to 18 months. As an alternative to storing your herbs, you can use the vinegar packing method. Take a small jar and tightly pack with tarragon, basil, thyme, or savory. Fill the jar with vinegar and seal it. This preserves the herb for 3 to 6 months, or more actually, if you store it in a cool, dry, and dark location. One benefit of this method is that the vinegar will take on the flavor of the herb that you are using, and then you can use that vinegar in salads or your cooking to impart a flavorful, unique accent to your dish. Many folks have questions as to how long you can store your herbs. If you keep your dried herbs in airtight containers away from heat or moisture, you should have flavorful aromatic herbs for 6 months to a year. Typically, dried herbs are best if they're stored whole. It's best to crush or crumble your leafy herbs just prior to adding them to your recipe. I utilize a mortar and pestle to accomplish this task, and during the summer months I try to use only fresh herbs because of the subtle taste that they add to any dish that I'm preparing. However, when using dried herbs, I always use less because dried herbs leaves have a much higher concentration of the oils that give them their flavor. Although the exact amount of dried herbs you're going to need will really, in your recipe, is going to depend on when it was harvested, how it was stored, and how long it was stored. But here's a general good rule of thumb. 1/4 teaspoon of dried or crushed herbs is equal to 3/4 to 1 teaspoon of loosely packed fresh herbs, or 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of fresh chopped herbs. As with any recipe ingredient, it might take some experimentation to finalize the ideal quantity. Remember that you can always add more herbs, but it's usually impossible to remove an herb flavoring once it's been added to your recipe. In my next video, I'm going to discuss the art of using fresh herbs. Want more information? Here are a few options. My website is www.herbinfosite.com. And the first option at my website is a complete ebook called The Practical Herb Garden Information Guide. The complete everything you need to know about herb gardening. A second ebook is called How to Turn Your Herbs into Cash. And the final bonus ebook is the Medford House e-cookbook called 6 Herbs Every Kitchen Should Have. It features 37 recipes using one or more of the 6 classic herbs in the recipe. An added bonus is access to the members-only area of the website with additional bonus material each month. The second option is a 10-part mini-course on the secrets of creating the perfect herb garden. And the best part is it's free. Go to my website, www.herbinfosite.com. Really, it's free. Do it now.